Good day, folks. Everything new under the sun. Revelation 6 does talk about a doomsday on the planet in relation to the wrath of God coming upon man and the world because of the sin and because of the rejection of our Savior Jesus Christ. That happens in the middle of the tribulation period, the 7-year period spoken of in Daniel, after the abomination of desolation occurs. It's the red line. And then the sun and the moon go dark. You read Revelation chapter 6 and it speaks of that. And people are now speaking about openly and related to multiple reasons, speaking about doomsday. Kind of unlike no other time in history has kind of all, quote unquote, the stars aligned for talk of doomsday and the world being in the situation for doomsday, with wars, with economic collapse on the horizon and threatening, and all sorts of trouble. Couple of articles here. This is from the economiccollapseblog.com. Something that we've been waiting for just happened, and it's a really bad sign. So, inflation in the Eurozone has risen truly to frightening levels, it says, and the war in Ukraine threatens to plunge major economies into very deep recession. Russia holds the key. Because of Russia cuts off the supply of natural gas to Europe. It will really cause unprecedented economic nightmare. Even though energy prices in Europe have already soared to absolute insane levels, the Russians could make things worse, much worse with a single decision. So what's going on in Russia, specifically Europe, the pipelines, etc.? Well, let's go down here. So Russia has temporarily suspended gas deliveries via Nord Stream. And you'll recall a video a couple of days ago about the turbine that Canada was repairing, a German turbine that is used in the Russian pipelines. So this Nord Stream is going down for apparently an annual 10-day maintenance period. And the real fear is whether the Russians will activate it again after this period. Will that be enough to scare Germany and Europe to play ball with Russia? Or will the international community get together and say, no, stand up against Russia, because of Ukraine, and then that would cause Russia to say, well, fine, no gas for you. The pipeline, Nord Stream that is Europe's single biggest piece of gas import infrastructure, carrying 55 billion cubic meters of gas per year. Boy, you talk about coming and getting the spoil in Ezekiel into the Middle East. You take the SPF spoil and you get oil. And what is this about? It's all about gas and oil. They come from the same location. Many analysts in the Western world are greatly concerned about what will happen if the Russians don't turn the gas back on when the 10-day period is over. When is that period? Well, July 22nd. If it doesn't get turned back on, we are being warned that Europe could actually be facing a doomsday scenario. So there you go. You have that doomsday scenario being spoken of. Jim Reed says, July 22nd, this is when it's supposed to come back on. The day the gas is supposed to come back online could be the most important day of the year. It says one day after the start of the scheduled 10-day shutdown, so it just started, the shutdown period, which has already sent flows through the NS1 pipeline to basically zero. That means businesses, corporations, it's good it's not winter, fuel depots, refining facilities, etc. They have no access to the energy coming out of the Nord Stream pipeline. It says the market is now focusing on the worst case scenario. What if Russia cuts all gas on July 22nd, the day even Bloomberg has now dubbed Europe's doomsday scenario? We know doomsday is coming. We know it's coming after the four horsemen of the apocalypse ride, when the sun and the moon go dark, and then the day of the Lord starts, and the wrath of God falls upon the earth. But people are seeing this. People are seeing real trouble coming upon them. And we know at some point the hearts of men will fail for fear of things coming upon them. And this is just one more thing that's going to cause the economic, social, and every other collapse of the world. This will cause a total collapse of the world, and the Antichrist will come to power during this period when it gets really, really bad. That's when the Antichrist comes. It's not bad enough yet for the whole world to give their sovereignty over and vow allegiance to the Antichrist. It's got to get way worse, folks. You have to be way more desperate to accept a world leader to come in and say, you know what, we're gonna give you this mark in your right hand or forehead. You're gonna have to register it with us. You're gonna have to give up your country's sovereignty. We're not there yet. No one would do that. And that means before that time, I suspect very highly that the world's going to be in a complete state of chaos, financial failure, economic collapse, social collapse, violence, wars, and rumors of wars before the Antichrist figure, whoever that figure is, who's probably in power right now, can come to power on the world stage and get everybody to go along with him. All right, so Doomsday, not coming yet, but it's got to get far worse. The Antichrist is going to come. A lot of people are going to be screaming Doomsday when it's not really going to be Doomsday, and they're going to accept the Antichrist as the world leader because they're going to be starving. They're going to be desperate. So another Doomsday article, and this involves Russia again. Russia activates Doomsday submarine armed with nuclear torpedoes. An advanced Doomsday submarine capable of launching massive nuclear torpedoes entered service with the Russian Navy Friday. The move comes after Russian figures have made repeated threats of nuclear war to the opponents of Russia's war in Ukraine. This is dated July 12th, so yesterday this news came out. Russian state-owned TASS news agency reported Friday that shipbuilders in Sevmash shipyard have made the final delivery of the Project 09852 special purpose submarine Belgorod to the Russian Navy. It is a 508-foot-long modified version of the Soviet-designed Oscar-class submarine. This is... oh, that's an image. That's not an image of it. That's a K-114 Tula nuclear submarine at a pier in a Russian naval. So just a stock photo there, but there you go. It says, the Belgorod has been especially designed to carry and deploy up to 80-foot-long nuclear-armed weapons known as the Status 6 Oceanic Multi-Purpose System, also known as Poseidon. And by NATO, it's known as Canyon. The Poseidon weapons have been referred to both as nuclear torpedoes and as nuclear-powered unmanned underwater vehicles. So you've heard of drones, obviously, in the air. Drones are a common warfare tactic now. All the countries are using drones because it's a lot cheaper, easier. If you lose one, who cares? You don't lose a life. And now that is happening in the sea with these unmanned torpedoes, effectively. According to U.S. Naval Institute, the Poseidon torpedoes are estimated to carry 100 megaton nuclear warheads, which could be launched against the enemy shorelines and detonate against enemy coastal cities. Do you recall that there was a video in New York that they put out on how to survive a nuclear attack? I wonder if there's any relation to this, a torpedo with a 100 megaton nuclear warhead that could be launched against coastal cities and create tidal waves and flood vast swaths of land. The potential destructive power of the Poseidon has earned the Belgorod a reputation of a doomsday vessel. TASS euphemistically referred repeatedly to the new submarines as a research vessel. So it goes on and talks about it, but they're definitely speaking of it as a doomsday submarine with effectively doomsday nuclear-tipped torpedoes. The purpose of which is to hit coastal cities or cause a tsunami against those cities. And again, recently, you can't miss it. New York came out with a public service announcement saying, here's how to get ready for a nuclear strike. That's incredible to me. That's astounding. I've never heard of that before, to be honest. Around nuclear power plants, they do have warning, if you live within 10 or 15 kilometers, I don't know what the radius is, they will send you iodine tablets, and they will give you an instruction booklet. If the reactor melts down, take an iodine tablet. In the event of emergency, do this or that. This public service announcement wasn't anything about that. It was literally about how to survive a nuclear strike. Why? Seems the government officials have some indication that they need to start warning people about this, educating people, because there is a real possibility now of this happening. Is it in relation to this news? And the authorities knew this way before this news came out. that Russia has now the delivery of this submarine, which could hit New York, which could hit other coastal areas. So incredible time if you're on the coast, and I am on the East Coast. This is a time to be worried. I don't live near any quote-unquote populated areas. Certainly no interesting target like a New York or some other big city on the U.S. East Coast. I'm up in Canada, of course, but the effects would be felt, either the tsunami, the radioactive fallout, or simply droves of people trying to escape the nuclear blast. So it's not just surviving in the city, it's what do all the people do in the surrounding areas who are overwhelmed by violent, crazy, desperate people trying to get out of there, who are likely sick, who need money, who have no money, and who will likely steal gasoline and money because they're trying to get away from it, from a life and death scenario. And so we get into this real scenario where, it's not only even a small strike on New York, but it's the surrounding area up to hundreds and hundreds of kilometers, where people would, a tank of gas will get you 400 kilometers. So look at a 400 kilometer radius around New York, and you're likely going to be affected very, very quickly, or any city for that matter. You're going to be affected very quickly if something like that were to go down. So folks, is Doomsday here? Certainly not. Is it coming? It is coming. I think at this point, we're at least 3.5, 4 years out from it, because the 7-year period I don't believe has started yet. But I believe the Doomsday scenario really, in full meaning, happens when the wrath of God falls upon the earth. And that's when the sun and the moon go dark and the day of the Lord starts, and he starts bringing the wrath down for the sin and the rejection of mankind, and deals with the Antichrist. So thanks for watching, folks. I'll leave it there. Be prepared. Things are getting crazy. I'm very busy. I haven't put out as many videos as I would like, but I'm getting ready. I'm getting prepared. I'm doing the things on in the background, and I've spoken about it before. Getting ready, storing up. I've since learned that whole wheat flour doesn't last a long time, even in a cellar. Get white flour. Now, it's not as nutritious, but it will last on the shelf for months and months and months, whereas whole wheat will start going rancid after only a couple of months, even in a cool, dark room. So something to be aware of. Buy a couple of 20 kilogram bags of white flour. It will last you a long time. Buy rice. We've learned that thick cut oatmeal lasts a very good long time. It doesn't seem to have any troubles as long as you keep it in a cool, dark place. So these are the things we're doing. We're practicing right now. What lasts long, what goes rancid or bad quickly, and you'll quickly learn. So start thinking about these things. Think 6 months down the road. Do you have food, water, or access to water? Should things hit the fan, as they say. I'll leave it there, guys. Thanks for watching. Be prepared and get your heart right with the Lord Jesus Christ. He's coming in a short period of time, and things will get far worse out there. We'll see you in the next video.